In Trinidad, whether you are working in the private or public school system, you are required to go through a screening process set up by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. In Guyana, we are light years away. If a teacher is working with the private school system, all he or she will receive is her salary. Pension is not included. But the Guyana Teachers Union is working to change all of that. Here is General Secretary of the GTU, Coretta MacDonald.
The thing with the private schools, it's the administration of the different schools. We would have gone out there to have talks with them. Many of them are hesitant in terms of allowing their teachers to be members of the Guyana Teachers Union. We see that as a way of holding the teachers. Because if the teachers don't have anybody to represent them, then the teachers can't act out when things are not happening.
According to MacDonald, the teachers in the private schools would participate in other activities of the GTU.
You know what is funny is that many of those teachers who are attached to private schools, when we have our National Athletics Championship, they come here and they participate as athletes, as teacher athletes at the championship. And we're finding it very strange that they can pay then to participate in the games. And it's very difficult for them to come fully on board. However, we have not ruled out having them on board. We're still discussing the way in which we are going to be interacting with the different managements.
But those instructions will not come just yet. Meanwhile, advisor to the Minister of Education, Vincent Alexander, said, while it is a concern for teachers in the private sector where benefits are concerned, a contributory pension scheme should be in place.
So if you take University of Guyana, for example, University of Guyana pension scheme is a contributory pension scheme where the workers themselves contribute to that scheme. So you can't simply equate what the private sector does, what the public sector does. It's two different situations. Now, in the private sector, it has to be a pension scheme, which more or less will be contributory.
The former UG registrar also stated that government cannot impose on the private school system unless a law is passed in Parliament. He made this very important suggestion where regularizing the teaching system is concerned.
If you regulate teaching as a profession, whether you're in private sector or public sector, you may have to have a registration as a teacher, the same way in which in Guyana doctors have a registration, irrespective of whether they're private or public. That can happen when you regulate the teaching profession. Now, if you were to do that, some of the people who teach in the private sector won't get to teach, because it would then require that you be a professional teacher, which means you have to be a trained teacher or a graduate teacher.
But an education bill is in Parliament to be passed, and that may shine some light on the private school system, says Mr. Alexander.
That bill is a new education bill. They started to work on it under the old government. We will do some reviews before it goes to Parliament, so that's something that could be looked at.
Meanwhile, for those administrators in the private schools who fear of having their teachers as members of the GTU, MacDonald says they have nothing to fear.
The GTU is not here to bully you. The GTU is not here to want to direct you in terms of how to run your organization. And so we're saying to you, let's come on board. Let's share our thoughts. Maybe we can do something a little different for you. But let's have the teachers on board so that they can be fully covered in terms of benefits to be received.
Andrew Weeks, Safe TV2 Headline News.